Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This blog is basically about my preparation of Ielts and some tips which can be helpful for people who are preparing for Ielts. So, first things first, that you have to know what is the score requirement which you have to get for Ielts. That's one thing, and secondly, which type of Ielts which you have to give in order to get whatever registration or whatever you are doing. So the first thing was that I was required to do either Ielts UKVI or Ielts Academic. So that was one thing, and secondly, I was required to have a minimum score of 7 in each component minimum and 7.5 overall. So it meant that I had to take at least I had to score at least 7.5 in one or two components. So that was the basic workup. um, then coming on to a small bit about a difference between Ielts and OET. Ielts is a basic language examination where you can have you can be tested in uh, in your basic English language skills. There can be topics from engineering, agriculture, astrology. There can be topics from anywhere. Whereas OET is occupational English test, which test you specifically in your field. For example, if you are a doctor or a nurse, in general, if you are a healthcare worker, so you will be tested in the topics which will be healthcare related. So that's what I know about OET. That's the basic difference. Now, coming back to the Ielts preparation. So, yeah, that's what I knew in the beginning. So, Ielts has four components: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So, let's talk about the listening component, which was my favorite one. Um for the listening component, I went to YouTube. There were a lot of listening audios present, and in the end of those audios, you could see the answers of those audios. So that was very helpful for me. I started off doing with the one or two topics per day. Then I increased my increased my increased the frequency of the test I used to do. So that was about the listening component. It That was the only thing which helped me in the listening component. Now let's move on to the next component, which is speaking. So for the speaking, what I did was I went to the Facebook pages, groups, and went to see what the common topics are for the listening. I stood in front of the mirror 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes in the so no, not 2 minutes, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening. Because listening, you have is first 2 minutes is for your introduction, what you do, and then you are given 14 minutes to talk about any topic. So I talked about 15 minutes for the practice in front of the mirror, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening. So that's how I improved on my speaking component. One more thing I have to tell you, that uh, at times the first three components, listening, reading, and writing, will be taken on one day, but the speaking component is scheduled either a day before or the day after. So that's what you have to bear in mind. If you are from outstation, you have to tell them beforehand that I need all four components done in one day. Or even if you are not from outstation, you can request them to see if there is any possibility. One more thing which I remember, that I had options of giving IELTS from Australian Educational Office (AEO) or the British Council. The both the times I chose AEO. I don't know. It looked a bit easy to me. I never went to the British Council, so I cannot some give any information about that. So that's the two easy components. Now coming to the uh, reading component. So in the reading components, you will be given three passages. One is easy, slightly easy. The other one's a bit difficult, and the third one is a bit more difficult in terms of the difficulty levels. So in my first attempt, I scored a very decent score. I think 7.5 in the reading. In the reading component, you are given a task, and you have to take answers from those specific specific passages. So yeah, one more thing I have to tell you, that I got help from a lot of YouTube video tutorials. The one which I will highly recommend to anyone is IELTS by Liz, Liz. That's a very professional YouTube channel that is highly dedicated to that is dedicated only to the IELTS preparation. I did not take any course. I did not got any help from anyone, because I was not able to, for various reasons. So I had to just retreat to the conventional methods, the YouTube which I had, and the notes which I made out of those. So that's the second thing about the reading passages. Another thing, the first time I was struggling a bit with the reading passage, because I could not allocate the time properly. I did finish it in time, but I was struggling in the beginning. But the second time around, when I was giving the IELTS exam for second time, I did the most difficult passage first, and then the easiest, and then the medium difficulty one on the second priority, and the third one was the easiest one. So it helped me. So whatever works for you, you can make your way around. The last component I want to talk about the writing is the writing one. The writing was and always has been a challenge for me, because in medical schools we don't write much. Even when we start our medical careers, we only are limited to writing the histories and very briefs about the patients. So writing, I was not very well versed of. I struggled from the very beginning in this specific component, and this was the component due to which I had to give uh, IELTS exam altogether for the second time. So one more thing I have to tell you, that if you are not able to secure score uh, any specific, for example, if you are required to score 7 in each component, and you score 6.5 just in the writing component, you will not be able to give just the writing component again. You have to give the whole exam altogether in the next attempt. So that was it. Writing, yeah, for the writing, I chose topics. I went back online on the Facebook groups. There were a lot of topics on the writing forums. I practiced them. Yeah, one more thing, that for the writing, reading, and listening, the IELTS, the mocks are easily available, and the what do you call, the answer sheets which the AEO or the British Council uses. You can get not those answer sheets, but just a look alike of those answer sheets. So you can practice on them. That was very helpful for me because I knew what I was stepping into, and I was well versed with these things. In writing, there is one more challenge that you have. There are two passages. The first passage is you have to limit yourself in 150, or not limit, but the minimum amount of the minimum number of words you have to write is 150 or more, but they should not exceed more than 170 or 80. That is what they recommend. And in the second passage, you have to, if I am not mistaken, you have to write 250 or 250 words or more. But again, it is recommended that you do not exceed to more than 270 words. So if you practice your writing skills on those mock answer sheets, they will be very helpful for you to understand what is your writing style, and if you write regularly at in any specific writing font or size, so by which line or by which page you will achieve those 150 or 250 words limit, because you have to literally count those words to make sure that you are either not overshooting or being under the word count. So that's another challenge. um, yeah, that was all about IELTS, and the preparation. Again, I made a lot of notes for me, and they were really helpful for me to prepare. I think that's how I practice, and that's how I function. So whatever works for you, well, you can do that. So yeah, that was all about my IELTS. In the next episode, I'll discuss about my PLAB 1, and then PLAB 2, and the other things that are related to the PLAB journey. Alright, thank you very much for your time. Have a good day and best of luck.